Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's Plixer webinar. I'm Shauntinéz Jakab, Director of Product Marketing. Today I have Marc Bilodeau with us, our co-founder. Joining me, we're going to talk to you about the evolution of Scrutinizer to Plixer One. During the conversation, please feel free to input your questions for Q&A at any time, and we'll try to answer them throughout the event. Once it concludes, if there's any questions that remain, we'll reach out to you with those answers. Thank you. And Marc, let's get started.
All right. Thank you, Shauntinéz. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Marc Bilodeau, co-founder of Plixer, and someone who loves this industry. I love data, and I love Plixer itself. Thank you for joining today. From the roster, I see some of our customers here, and I want to personally thank you for your business. I hope we're exceeding your expectations, and if not, let us know. And I see names I don't recognize. I hope you learn a lot about what we do and how we can make your life better by showing you a treasure trove of info about what's happening on your network. And I also see some prior customers in the list. Welcome back. I'm happy you're taking a second look. And we certainly have improved the platform quite a bit. We'd love to have you back. So, with welcomes and salutations out of the way, today for my part, I want to address two questions. For existing customers, is Scrutinizer going away? And for everyone, why Plixer One? And to get to these answers, I want to jump to a few points in Plixer's 26-year history. Don't worry, I'm only going to jump to a handful of moments instead of droning on about the entire 26 years. But what a wild ride it was, and it still is for that matter. So let's go back in time first. So on November 14th, 2005, Scrutinizer 2.1.0 was released, the first version. You might ask yourself why the first version was 2.1.0. Well, that's because who takes a 1.0 seriously, right? Anyways, for those who are not familiar with Scrutinizer, Scrutinizer collects NetFlow and provides visibility into activity on your network. 20 years later, it still does this and a lot more. But in 2005, people used SNMP a lot more than flows. For those not familiar, SNMP gives you a snapshot in time. You have to pull for the information. So SNMP tools had scheduled events every minute or 5 minutes to pull thousands of SNMP stats from the network to get visibility. But NetFlow shows near real-time activity on the network. So for example, instead of knowing how many total bytes have gone through an interface with SNMP, NetFlow could tell you which IPs, ports, protocols that were causing that traffic, like how much HTTP and SSH were on the network, or unsecure ones like FTP and Telnet, which your network admins told you were turned off completely. Truly, though, NetFlow was breakthrough in network visibility over SNMP. For Plixer, NetFlow, IPFix, and telemetry data became our passion, and we funneled that energy into Scrutinizer development for years to come. As more time passed, Plixer supported more vendors. In many cases, we were only one who supported experimental flows and IPFix templates from vendors like Cisco, Palo Alto, and SonicWall. Because of our flexible architecture, we could and still can support new flow elements easily. In fact, as of today, we support over 9,400 elements from dozens of vendors. We include specialized reports from 57 different vendors and bundle 710 reports into the product. If we don't have a specific canned report that you're looking for, you can create it on your own. Scrutinizer was and easy to install. All you had to do is point your flows to it, and had deep visibility into your network activity. Many other vendors who provided similar solutions to Scrutinizer at the time, and even today, only ingest the minimum flow data elements or use packet header information to provide good enough visibility. And that's a mistake. I won't go into that here why, but we could have a whole webinar on that particular topic. All right, now let's jump to 2012 when Plixer introduced the replicator. So the market was rapidly evolving and many more devices were capable of sending flow telemetry. Broadly speaking, organizations were adopting tools to help provide deeper network visibility and to detect odd behaviors in malware. Plixer was doing some of these things with Scrutinizer, But there were other tools customers was using, and they needed those flows. To do that, they had to send the flows from multiple locations and to multiple collectors. Sounds simple enough, but there was a big problem. The issue was that many flow exporters, such as routers and switches, were limited to the number of collectors they could send those flows to. Most were two destinations, and many were just one. In fact, you can still find this limitation today. But Replicator solved this problem by replicating UDP traffic, such as NetFlow, IPFix, and syslogs. It could replicate any UDP traffic from all servers and network devices to any number of collectors, such as your SIM, Scrutinizer, and other applications that needed the data. Replicator gave admins the control to redirect UDP traffic on the fly. I recently read a report that said some companies had over 70 network and security tools. 70. That's crazy. Now, let's take a moment for that to sink in. How much overlap there must be and how much money could be saved by consolidating them into a single robust solution. But for those organizations, for some reason, who need that many tools, you can believe that many of those two solutions need the same network traffic to function properly. So, a replicator is perfect for replicating the traffic to each of them. It's also a great standalone product. It never and still doesn't require Scrutinizer to replicate traffic. In fact, it's included in Plixer One, but we'll get to that. So let's move on to 2014. So at this time, Plixer introduced distributed architecture. Users could purchase additional Scrutinizer collectors and have them work together. This allowed customers to scale up and ingest millions of flows per second and have access to all that data in a single pane of glass. At this point, Scrutinizer also had algorithms that provide deeper insight into traffic patterns and could detect malware, which benefited both NetOps and SecOps teams. For customer demand, we started embracing more SecOps driven features since we were already had a lot of that metadata about the network. And to our NetOps focused folks, it kept them in the know because NetOps and SecOps were largely siloed teams. In a lot of cases, they still are today. It's a good thing, though, our solution is robust enough for both sides of the house, regardless if they work together in the same department or not. Anyways, our algorithms could look deeper into flow traffic and detect abnormal behavior outside what was the industry standard, which was largely threshold-based notifications and baselining. In short, Scrutinizer was and is a robust solution for both NetOps and SecOps teams because of its rich functionality and that it could be scaled with the organization. So now if we jump ahead a couple more years into our history, Scrutinizer and Replicator can now be deployed in high availability. Scrutinizer with primary and secondary reporters and multiple collectors, replicators with primary and separate secondary appliances. On top of that, the product portfolio expanded again. Even as more vendors started supporting flows, not all of them did. There were still dark spots on the network. So we released a new product called FlowPro. A FlowPro could be deployed to provide visibility where there was none, either because the network hardware didn't support the flows or it was an isolated part of the network. All a user had to do was span the traffic to the FlowPro and it would send flow data back to Scrutinizer. Not only would FlowPro provide visibility where there was none, but it also could provide layer 7 application data, round trip time, jitter, client server latency, and more. It could also detect data infiltration, command and control activity, and other anomalous traffic patterns. It came in two flavors, the FlowPro APM, which stands for Application Performance Monitoring, and FlowPro Defender. Organizations can purchase one or more FlowPro and deploy them in strategic areas of their network to maximize visibility and detection. Our FlowPros even worked with other collectors, but those collectors wouldn't be able to take advantage of the additional NetOps and SecOps functionality. So if we fast forward 4 more years to 2020, where we again expanded our product portfolio. So in 2019, Plixer acquired Great Base Software, which expanded our network visibility with the introduction of an endpoint analytics. EA provided deep visibility and tighter control over network endpoints, such as PCs, mobile devices, VMs, and IoT devices. This helped organizations track their assets, address security and compliance concerns, and help mitigate certain risks. By adding endpoint metadata, Plixer is able to use that context to provide greater visibility over the network. Not only could you see endpoints were sending traffic, you could see details about the endpoints that couldn't get from flow data. Also in 2020, Plixer introduced its first version of its ML engine, which expanded our ability to seasonally baseline the network and look at data in multiple dimensions and classifications. This greatly improved our detection and response capabilities and reduced those false positives, a common complaint from NetOps and SecOps teams. Even to this day, we continue to refine and improve alerts with each release as our ML/AI engine becomes more advanced. Yes, I said AI, and it's a term that's run out a little too much, in my opinion. But our roadmap has some exciting stuff about real AI capabilities, but that's a topic for another webinar. And that leads us to today. I mention all of this because it shows Plixer's evolution, providing deep observability and defense for your network environment on-prem and in the cloud. You'll learn more about Plixer One in a moment, as I don't want to steal thunder from Shauntinéz, but I will say this. Plixer One combines our entire product portfolio into two separate offerings, Plixer One Core and Plixer One Enterprise. It provides more flexibility to customers for deploying and scaling. For example, you no longer have to buy each collector. You can spin up as many as you need. This reduced the cost of investing into Plixer's ecosystem by including multiple products into a single offering. So for those of you who use Scrutinizer today, is it going away? No. It's the foundation of Plixer One. We spent years developing and refining it. We've been in the industry for 26 years, and we've learned a lot and packed that know-how into our products. Those customers who have many monitoring tools could save money by consolidating them into a Plixer One deployment. And all you have to do to go from Scrutinizer to Plixer One is upgrade Scrutinizer to 19.5, apply a license key, and you can take advantage of everything that Plixer One has to offer. So by embracing Plixer One, each customer has access to their own dedicated team to support them, determine the best strategy to deploy, provide training, and help fulfill their use cases. If you have a technical issue, you can contact support. Plixer One customers have 24/7 access to our team. Need training or have questions about specific use cases? Contact your customer success manager. Have questions about upcoming renewals? You have a dedicated person for that. If you're looking to expand your deployment, your account executive can help. We at Plixer pride ourselves on delivering the best experience possible for our customers. Throughout the years, I've heard many compliments from customers about how awesome our support team is, and I believe it. We all we all want our customers to have that same experience with their own dedicated teams. So with that said, I want to thank you for your time and again express my gratitude to customers past and present, as well as those that are considering us. Now I want to hand it over to Shauntinéz so she can dive deeper into Plixer One. Thank you.
With this, we are on a mission. Our mission is to elevate IT and empower those driving the operations for the network. Let me tell you a little bit more about what we are achieving with Plixer One. As discussed, we have evolved Scrutinizer into a powerful network observability and defense platform. Plixer One is designed to optimize visibility and security at every point in your network infrastructure. It combines our legacy monitoring capabilities with advanced network analytics, machine learning, deep learning, threat detection and response, all while leveraging the source-rich data from more IT infrastructure components than any other solution on the market. This is real. With Plixer One, we aim to deliver value in these key areas so you have a 360-degree view to ensure you see, understand, and can act fast. This approach brings out what we have done well for years and gives you even more. Oops. Everything we do starts with data collection, and we are making it easier, as Marc mentioned. We've taken the complexity away from data collection so you can spin up collectors to support increasing flows per second and highly distributed environments. We've consolidated our core components into one platform so it's tightly integrated and uses, of course, the best use of disk space, memory, and CPU utilization to lower your costs. This is good. Think about it. One tool, packaged well, saves money, and ingests and analyzes data present in your network automatically from every device throughout your ecosystem, whether it's in the cloud, branch office, data center, even that plant over there. It hears, it finds, it receives the data in milliseconds with every new device that becomes active in your environment. Think about that. That's good. That's what you want. Imagine the tool for aggregating your network data from all the devices, regardless of vendor. You don't have to worry about it. It's that single source of network data and connectivity so that you have the richest high fidelity telemetry and network intelligence for all of your IT teams, no matter who the vendor is. All of you have deployed products and network infrastructure components and firewalls and load balancers, application delivery controllers from these vendors in the cloud and these types of services. No matter who's manufacturing these, we strive to enable you to see it, to track the device and the infrastructure components and the traffic traversing the network. That's what we want you to do. See more, know more, do more. That's what Plixer One is all about. Moving Scrutinizer to the next level, giving you the means for stronger telemetry and ability to automate action in the best way possible that's right for your team. And I say strongest telemetry because remember, we collect the most telemetry, giving you visibility and insight to effectively tune and take action where you need it. Plixer One does not just ingest the data, it integrates with all key NOC and SOC tools that enable organizations to do more with that data and get the most from all those 70 tools you've invested in. At the core of the platform, as Marc has mentioned, is artificial intelligence. And for us, it includes machine learning, deep learning, predictive modeling that extracts intricate knowledge from the abundance of the data collected. It's one thing to collect all of that data, but you've got to analyze it. That's what we do. Our models are continually tuned. It offers self-learning. Machine learning can be configured for fine-tuning so that you get the most of it. With Plixer, AI optimizes security with more precision in detection and across a broader range of threat vectors to add another layer of security that strengthens your defenses against malicious tactics and techniques. So it's not about replacing the next network detection and response tool or your firewall or your web application firewall. What it's about is about making your defenses better, whether you use those things already or you need those types of technology. It also helps accelerate root cause analysis, capacity planning, as you need to understand when and how to scale the network and even scale up Plixer One itself. So now you can see from our discussion, Plixer One is designed to address challenges for your network team, for your security team. Challenges as shown here. These challenges are many of the challenges that bring customers to us. We look to overcome those with Plixer One. And I'm going to talk quickly about that because we are running out of time. Initially, Scrutinizer was designed, as Marc mentioned, as network traffic analysis and monitoring tool. Today, as we've evolved Scrutinizer and we've moved to this Plixer One motion, precision monitoring is where we're beginning now. It's all about precision. It enables you to more effectively map the network, easily absorb, analyze, and model data from everywhere, Now you can spot trends more effectively, detect anomalies, get answers about the network, the application performance, the user experience, and more. Dashboards let you easily present that information in the most meaningful ways to your team. Plixer One is the best way to visualize the entire network infrastructure and understand the health of key components, of traffic paths, of services, so that you can best use your equipment, infrastructure, and know where and when updates and changes are needed. Troubleshooting is also made easier. It unburdens the team from manual efforts to dig deep to identify and resolve issues like those shown here and more. The multifaceted data analytics triangulate service issues and bring the root cause to your attention fast with less manual effort than other tools. So you can stop digging, pulling on someone who has more expert knowledge, or waiting on the same. Plixer One arms everyone with the expertise and the answer they need to uncover root cause of service issues, of service degradation, of bandwidth concerns, and the possibility for outage fast. Plixer One simplifies capacity planning with a full breadth of capabilities that allow you to easily understand traffic flows, resource performance, and where bandwidth devices and policy changes need to occur. You can analyze flow trends. You can use a calculator to calculate bandwidth needed to meet future performance requirements. It's a great tool for planning the capacity going forward, for making sure you're optimizing what you're already using, and also planning for new developments and delivering new infrastructure to your organization. Now, this is what many of you have been waiting to hear, that threat detection and response talk, what we do there. With Plixer One, we help you take security to another level. It's about elevating security, bringing it up a notch. Our observability and defense platform, when leveraged broadly, helps you maintain comprehensive visibility and the strongest defense against evolving and evasive attacks. With the AI, advanced analytics, and the telemetry from throughout your environment, you get understanding of where the risk is and the threats are. Plixer One also fosters precision detection of those threats commonly left unseen by other solutions. Because we see everything, everywhere, we have that data, we're able to analyze that quickly and surface those malicious incidents that often are missed. This gives you time to take action because you can respond with Plixer One, or you can respond with your other solutions to make them better. So it reduces false positives, allows you to spend only time on what matters most to your organization. Moreover, it's going to provide you with the insight you need to make those security changes. As well, don't forget, it comes with IDS capability, intrusion detection and response. It has hundreds of existing rules and the ability to add custom signatures so that you know with confidence that you're protected. It alerts on suspicious activity of MITRE tactics, all of them pretty much, DNS abuse, and more. It is definitely a tool to use to stop DDoS attacks, as well as to see lateral movement throughout your organization. Be mindful, this tool does things automatically. So it sees, it has policies baked in. You can customize policies and rules yourself. But out of the box, it's going to offer the protection that you need and can adjust as things change in your infrastructure. What empowers you most is what you see, what you learn, what you get. You can build customized dashboards for your team that bring forth the most meaningful information to you, whether it's looking at the network and tracking the infrastructure components, seeing the health of your switches and other devices, or if you're looking for threats and understanding of the application performance or stopping attacks. You can even focus on just the MITRE alignment and see all of the threats and activities as they are ranked and prioritized against the MITRE chart. So it's a good way to quickly and easily bring understanding and see what's happening in your environment, track and chart things, and communicate information to those who need to know. So think about setting yourself up for success with network observability from Plixer One. The architecture is grand, more effectively elevates your visibility across a distributed hybrid and cloud environment, easily packaged in one solution, offered as software or appliance, and giving you the comprehensive insights that you need to make sure you reduce risk and take action that makes your performance at the business level better and your performance of security better. Plixer, just to reiterate, we always want to maintain a lightweight approach to data collection and ensure extensive data storage for historical trend analysis. No additional sensors, no appliances are required, so you can implement easily and see results fast. This is the best approach for pulling in that information, distributing data with our replicator as well, anywhere you need the data distributed, making sure you have comprehensive analytics and use of AI to help you really understand from a multifaceted perspective what's going on in the network. It also leverages Select PCAP so that you can see inside those dark areas, as Marc mentioned before, that aren't exporting flow data. Keep that in mind and consider moving forward with us with Plixer One. Talk to us today. Call up your rep. We have the package of Plixer One Core, Plixer One Enterprise for all the key features and the AI and analytics that you will need to move forward. It integrates with everything. This is a good solution next step for those who were using Scrutinizer and those who weren't using Scrutinizer who want more, who need more visibility, who need more insight into what's going on in the network, and who need a more comprehensive and approach to security as well as network operations. Learn more. Attend one of our tech talks that are coming up where we're going to dive into the key capabilities of Plixer One. You can also learn about artificial intelligence and our focus on that and any other technologies that we're talking about. Watch for an email in your inbox with an invitation on the upcoming tech talk and the topic that we'll have on hand. Also come out to see us at Cisco Live. We'll be there in June, and you can see demonstrations and talk to our experts. Thank you for this time, and I'm going to open up to questions. I'm sure there are plenty of them, and I'll turn it over to Ashley if you want to see if there's any questions.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna combine, there's a couple similar questions. So for current Scrutinizer users, what is the mitigation process like? Also, for people who don't feel that they need to upgrade, can they just stay with Scrutinizer? Is there a need to upgrade?
Yeah, sure. I can take that one, Ashley. So what the migration process looks like to go to Plixer One is very straightforward. So customer simply needs to upgrade Scrutinizer to 19.5 and apply a new license key. The only downtime is the upgrade of the software, which typically takes 10 to 15 minutes. And then you can engage with the dedicated Plixer team to help plan a full rollout of the other components and training for your team. Typically, depending on how your users want to deploy the full solution, on-prem and in the cloud or in a hybrid model, there are some virtual and cloud resources needed, but that stuff's outlined in our documentation. Users who want to deploy hardware can work with us to determine what's required. Once flows are being collected, other components with Plixer One can be deployed, and then in many cases with little or no downtime. That said, with existing customers that are happy with their current scrutinizer solution, that want to just go to Plixer One, and whether they have to, additional cost, we're offering right now because we're really being aggressive about getting our customers to Plixer One. In many cases, we're offering a like for like for existing customers. So what I recommend is contacting your account executive just to talk about and review how you're currently deployed, and then during the time of your renewal, if you want to wait for that, you certainly could work with the renewal specialist and we could quote you out with a Plixer One Core Enterprise, depending on what you need.
Perfect. Thanks. Another question, are there any on-demand learning workshops?
So right now we do have some material that's being prepared and stuff that we will be publishing soon to YouTube as well as our online portal internally. But that's stuff that's coming soon.
Another question, can Scrutinizer Reporter be used to display syslog data in near real time? For example, firewall troubleshooting.
So Scrutinizer doesn't necessarily ingest syslogs. We're not like a SIM in that particular case. But what we can do is integrate with SIM. So if you have a SIM that is collecting syslogs, we are looking at the flow data and looking for anomalous details and behaviors in which, if we find them, we can send that information over to your SIM.
How easy is it to deploy and manage Plixer One for organizations with limited IT staff? They have a junior level team and they're curious if they'll be able to leverage Plixer One as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Plixer One's UI is easy to use. Users can easily drill down, add filters, and navigate around between network activities, alarms, dashboards, and reports. Experience is going to be different between people. But that's why they can reach out to our dedicated their customer service manager to assist with onboarding and training them.
Does Plixer One require any additional hardware or can it be deployed virtually?
So hardware isn't required, but some customers do prefer it. In those cases, they can work with our team to determine which hardware is required for their specific case. We can provide that hardware with warranties and 24/7 support. As for virtual deployments, our documentation has all the sizing information needed, so your team knows what resources to provision for on-prem or in the cloud.
A couple more. We're interested in signing up. Do your teams offer a demo with, for example, of NetFlow and show the report options with one of your tech engineers to see how it works?
If you're interested in seeing a demonstration of the product, by all means, contact us. We'd love to discuss your use cases and how best to deploy our solution.
You mentioned that Scrutinizer is the foundation of Plixer One. What are the key differences that current Scrutinizer users will notice immediately after upgrading?
So the great thing for existing customers is there's little to no learning curve beyond some additional configuration views. They will get the same great functionality that they have before. However, as the other components of Plixer One are being deployed, more information about the network will start showing up in those familiar interfaces. So the Flow Pro endpoint analytics and ML engine will feed data into Scrutinizer, where users will begin to experience the benefits of the entire Plixer One platform.
Okay, another question is about the training involved with getting it. I'm not sure whether that's upgrading or new customers. Either way.
So in terms of training, so the thing is, if you're just doing Scrutinizer, if you're an existing Scrutinizer customer, this is why we've put together a dedicated team for each one of our customers. So when you come aboard to Plixer One, we make sure that you have access to support, customer success, renewals, and your AE to make sure we're answering all your questions and to make sure your team is trained so they can use Plixer One to its full potential.
Um, how will costs differ when upgrading to Plixer One?
So, like I said before, there in many cases, going from Scrutinizer to Plixer One, it's a like for like upgrade. But we'd like you to talk to your AE first to make sure how you're to understand how you're deploying Scrutinizer today. Because one of the things about Plixer One is because of all the additional functionality, you may not be utilizing the full potential of what you have for Scrutinizer today. So, like I said, in most cases, it's a like for like for existing customers.
Can you filter comparisons or query from multiple devices and have a report on it? Trying to see how a
Oh,
certain device or user is traversing the network.
So absolutely. So, we recommend that, the nice thing is that our licensing is based on exporters and not flows. So all you have to do is send all of the exporters to our solution, and we will be able to aggregate that data together to show you multiple exporter information in one particular report, or if you prefer to drill down to specific exporters, specific interfaces, specific devices, and see the raw flows on those.
We've looked at visibility solutions in the past. What are the biggest factors we should consider when comparing Plixer One to other providers?
That's a great question. So Plixer has been and still is a vendor agnostic. Many vendors will tell you you can save money by using their monitoring solutions. They will provide you visibility, but it's focused on hardware or virtual solutions. And I'm looking at you, SD-WAN providers. They do at best a high level summary of the rest of the network, but that isn't enough to get deep visibility into the activity in the entire network and beyond the solution, their solution. So another area of focus is to not fall into the trap of top talkers. Those hosts and protocols are likely always high on your list, and you may ignore the change when number three becomes number two, and you're not getting any complaints from your users. The real problems today are so nuanced that you need the solution that can analyze all the flows and look at those subtle changes which indicate problems. So your problem hosts aren't likely high on the list. For that example of number three moving to number two, it could be because of just congestion or retransmissions. Your good enough solution won't be able to show you that. Don't forget that Plixer One allows you to expand your deployment footprint as you need, but without purchasing additional collectors like other solutions. We don't want you to worry about budget when it comes to handling your network flows. Also, our licensing again is based on the number of flow exporters because it's very difficult to pinpoint how many flows your network generates. Those peak times can be unpredictable. And the last thing I want to note about this is that you want a solution that can scale and look at all the traffic. You gives you the ability to go high and drill down into the individual flows so you have complete visibility and the capability to detect those subtle abnormal behaviors that users and malware cause.
Can raw data be converted into a human readable format, for example, XML?
So so there that's a loaded question in terms of there's multiple ways you can go about that. I mean, Scrutinizer in itself would Scrutinizer and Plixer One has an API in which you can query the data to retrieve it in a format that you can ingest it like that. In terms of converting, let's say, raw files into readable information like that, that's going to highly depend on your use case. And if that's something you're interested in, please contact us so we can discuss the details around that.
Looks like we've covered all the questions.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate your time today. And thank you for your business. And those that haven't bought yet, look forward to having your business.
Have a great day.
Take care, everyone.